Greetings and welcome to unMadeGaming. We are here with another episode of Blaze of Glory. I bet you wish you knew what was happening behind the scenes, but I'm sure McLogan will tell you in about 30 seconds. We are here with the entire cast and crew, who now has the giggles and is trying to make it out of a spaceship. Yeah, of course. We have McLogan.
I wonder why.
We have Cherry Babaham. We have Sam, aka the Wizened Fool, and of course we have Johnny, aka Video Store Cowboy. That being said, before we jump into things, guys, if you want to support the channel, please go check us out on Patreon. If you want to join the conversation, go check us out on our Discord. And if you want to support these wonderful, beautiful, amazing, hilarious players here, that bar in the bottom right hand corner serves two purposes. The first and most important one is all the money that goes to that goes to these players, and once it fills, Johnny gets to do whatever the hell he wants, which, you know, whatever. With that, I will turn things over to Johnny to take us away to space.
I'm surprised. We got through 30 seconds, and he didn't actually say a word.
Right.
I'm really impressed. All right.
It'll come later.
I hope so. Please introduce it in the story. All right, guys. This is going to be a little bit of a long one, so bear with me. Previously on Blaze of Glory. The crew has the target in sight. Levi's hacking has got them the layout of the high-security section of the Straylight, the spacefaring nightclub and bar. After reviewing the details and some more hacking to get the target's location, Switch and Sally head in the direction of the holding area of the hostage. Meanwhile, Fitzy and Levi head toward what they've identified as the nerve center of the security area. Since the Straylight has precursor technology at its core, Fitzy hopes to utilize it and finally get Friday out of his head. When Switch and Sally finally get to the hostage, they're greeted with an unusual sight. The individual is seated in shadows behind a table. Uncertain of what they're seeing at first, the individual stands up and comes around to engage with them. Speaking to them, the person's voice is modulated and has no aspects of gender. As the individual stands in front of them finally, there are no features on their face or hands. The rest of their body is clothed in a nondescript outfit. It's unsettling to say the least. When the individual offers their hand in greeting, Switch shakes it and is startled with the results. Levi and Fitzy find their way to the nerve center of the ship, only to find themselves in another unsettling position. The room has precursor tech at its heart, but it's actively being hacked It's actively being hacked and is by the same biological entities, red entities, that Tuesday is. 4 of those biological entities to be exact. At the center of that room is also a blue AI construct, not unlike Friday, who affectionately gets the name Monday. Between Fitzy and Levi, they determine that the red entities are working to control the systems of the ship and shape its purpose to some unknown means. Meanwhile, Monday is working toward defending the tech and keeping it out of the red entity's control. It doesn't appear Monday is doing so well. In the meantime, Switch has come face to face with, well, himself. After the handshake, the individual's featureless face and hands morphed into having the appearance of Switch. With Switch's voice, the individual introduces itself as Klaus and asks them that they leave as soon as possible. Uncertainty abound, Switch, Sally, and Klaus make their way towards the entry point Levi used when he stealthed onto the ship. In transit, Switch thinks fast when they pass members of the Lost Legion and the data broker Vorex. Airlock in view, Glory in transit to the airlock, Switch and Sally have a moment of relief. Then all hell breaks loose. You see, Levi couldn't leave things alone. He had to hack all the things and cause havoc. While in the nerve center, Fitzy figured out how to let Levi see Friday, and Friday's assessment of the situation was grim. It was highly unlikely they were going to get Friday out of Fitzy's head. If they could get Monday's help and disable the red entities, they might just get out of this situation without getting noticed. So Levi made with the hacking and just did that. Only something went wrong, and an alarm klaxon goes off. While Fitzy and Levi collect Monday and make a run for it, Sally, Switch, and Klaus dash for the airlock. Just as they turn a corner and see it in sight, they find themselves facing four fully armed Lost Legion soldiers with rifles aimed at them as we fade in. All right, so we're going to start there with Switch and Sally. We're fading in. You guys have just turned the corner. Klaus is behind you. And there are these 4 armored Lost Legion guys. Now, these are like the same Lost Legion armored individuals that you first came in contact with. The first 2 that, both Sally and Fitzy were able to take out, and then the 4 that Sally actually gassed. But this time, these guys were prepared and ready, and they're looking at you as you just turn this corner. What do you guys want to do?
Right. Can I go back behind the corner?
Oh well, yeah. Well, of course, you're gonna be able to dodge back, behind the corner and just kind of get behind cover before the blaster fire starts.
Well, that would be the first thing that I would like to do.
Sally, would you like to follow switch along and do that?
Sally is probably going to hesitate because she is completely brain fucked at this point, and there's probably going to be blaster fire that goes like right behind your head before like he grabs her or something, and she goes, "Oh right, that'll kill me." But yes, essentially she'll get to the same general area.
I think like there's maybe that like moment that kind of happens in a lot of these kind of like movies and TV shows where like Switch is like taking a couple like pot shots around the corner just to like make sure that they don't come up on him while he's like, Fitzy, I need you. We need you. Fitzy?
Do our comms work in this crazy room, Johnny?
They do. They have.
Cool.
Because you were actually communicating with Levi before he dropped down from his little crawl space into that hallway. So yeah, they are working.
Oh no, I meant in the room that I exploded the whole thing.
Yeah, they're working there too.
Okay, cool. Yeah, he hears your call and then he like looks at Levi. He's like, I forgot my accent again, like I do every week. I think we gotta go. I think we have to get out of here.
Oh, that's where we're going.
No, I think we have to go towards them.
Yeah, I don't know if you can hear this in the background, but there's a lot of people shooting.
Oh, that's my specialty.
Okay. Well,
You're always bitching
where
that you
are
don't get
they?
to punch things.
I don't know. That's your job. I don't even have a map. I didn't even have a phone. I had to use switches.
How many people
okay.
has Sally shot since we've been here? Is it 1 or 2?
You shot 1 and then you grenaded
just
4.
1. Right.
Oh boy.
Okay.
What
And
do
I have a
for
grenade.
this?
One of you gave me a grenade. An actual grenade, right?
Yeah, but
The count is 5 for. Sorry, go ahead.
we got to be really careful with the actual grenades next to the airlock.
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
it's fine. You don't even need an airlock.
I think this is a good time if I brought out Amanda.
I don't even. Is it a sex toy or what are you saying?
I think it's a sex toy. And then I pull out a heavy blaster from my bag.
I think we have very different definitions of what sex might or might not be, and I feel like yours is wrong. Anyway, I need a map. I don't need a gun. I punch everyone.
No. We go this way.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Just follow me.
Where is do I just press my ear? How does this comm work?
They're listening to us right now.
Oh, shit, we're on our way. So
Most
you
inept
hear this
space
whole
person.
conversation about sex toys and how to use maps, followed by we're on our way, and we leave to go on our way.
Okay. Yeah. You said there's 4 of them?
Oh yeah, there's 4 of them, and the blaster fire continues to kind of to do its thing, kind of aiming towards that that side, that corner. And every time there's a little bit of a break, as Switch is able to get a couple of pot shots off, the increasing the fire continues. And you hear that there's a little bit of communication going on, but you actually can't hear what they're actually saying between each other. But you can hear that they're communicating.
Switch is gonna just like kind of look at Sally and just be like, "Now I'm not gonna lie to you, Sally. I don't really have much for this. That's kind of why I hired that guy."
Right. Yeah. No, that makes sense.
I mean, I've
yeah.
got a bomb, but I don't think that's gonna be great here. Like, I mean, you got one too. You got anything for this?
I got my syringe gun. She looks around.
Not that.
She hesitates for a moment. She's gonna close her eyes for a second and shoot her syringe gun around the corner.
Okay, well, can I actually try to do something? I actually have an idea. Is like maybe like while like Switch can see that Sally's like about to do something like a little wild, and I want to try to throw out a distraction, and we can kind of decide how exactly how well this works. But
Sally's gonna go for the furthest one to the left, which I would assume would be the easiest one to shoot.
Oh yeah, so you can get around the corner easiest.
Yeah,
nice, good luck.
So I could pop because Sally
What kind of
has been a great shot, but it's not her skill point.
One of my free items that I can have on me are trick holo cards. And I'm wondering if I can like throw them out in a way so that like the hologram will like pop up a little bit and it will like kind of like be like a bright light that will kind of draw their attention away. And so hopefully they don't just all blast Sally the moment she pops out to take a shot.
Okay, so what is this thing again? Is it's some sort of like a flashbang bomb?
They're trick holo cards. No, so I'm not like trying to like.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
So like I'm imagining
basically a visual distraction.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm imagining like these are like kind of it's like some kind of card game where like you toss it down on the table and like the projection will come up to like show what you've got. Right. So he's going to like try to toss it out of the air and then like something will appear. And so hopefully these guys will kind of go, what? And at least give Sally the momentary second to not get just absolutely destroyed as she pops out of cover.
Is this something that you're trying to do like a full-on distraction, or is this just an assist?
It sounds like an assist.
Yeah, I can do it as assist. That seems totally reasonable. I'll spend the stress and assist.
By the way, what is your stress at?
I have 2 more to give, and then I am going to be traumatized out.
Okay.
I'm trying to decide what to roll. Whether scramble or attune. So I feel like she's taking a moment. She takes a breath and then does the thing. Which doesn't feel like a scramble to me, so.
Well, attune is like magical way tech bullshit. And scramble is like if you're thinking like D&D, scramble is like your acrobatics. It's like get away, get somewhere quick, dodge, roll, dip, duck, dive, dodge. So shooting, I think all combat is scrap, basically.
Okay. It really is about the situation. In this particular case, I could see it being scrap, but I could also see it being whatever the other one was.
Scramble?
Because it's
scramble.
It's
yeah,
kind
I
of like
no points and scrap, so points. Wow, words.
The argument that I could see about scramble is the fact that it's like you're trying to do something very quick. You're trying to do it in a way that's dexterous more than you are trying to do it in some way that's actually about like a really sort of like rough and tumble sort of a strength kind of a fight, or even like a But so I'm gonna allow scramble to be the thing.
Okay. So are you feeling that's risky or controlled? I don't feel like it's desperate yet.
Make me an argument why it's not desperate.
I mean, the odds are stacked against them, but this is their first. They're out of harm's way at the moment. So to me, it feels like this is something she's made a decision to do. She's not just like running out like a buffoon and shooting. She's actually made the decision to do this. Where before it was Sally, she usually just, okay, shoot thing.
All right, then it definitely sounds like a risky situation then. There's no way that this is a controlled situation at this point. You actually don't know what's coming up behind you.
We're getting shot
That's
at,
true.
so.
Effect.
I think because you're aiming specifically at one individual.
Yeah.
It feels limited to me. If you can make me an argument why this might have a larger impact on the situation.
And
that's open to the table if anybody.
For him.
Right, you get the bonus die for the assist. Now you can also push yourself for 2 stress, or you can take a devil's bargain.
I can't push myself.
Yeah, I
Sally's
was
or
about to
any
say, I don't
frazzled.
think you
Yeah.
gotta stress.
I don't have the points to do it. So
To be
it's-
clear, when you
Ooh.
spend your last stress, you still get to make the roll before
Yeah.
you are out for the score. So
1 and a 5.
1 and a 5.
5 will help. 5 will help.
Yeah.
It's not as good as it could be, but
Well, it's better than the scrap, right? Because it would have been 1 die instead of being lesser of 2.
Yeah.
All right. So narrate us as you're kind of aiming and pointing around. Actually, I take that back. Switch. Narrate us what happens when you throw these cards out, and then Sally's narrate what happens when you actually aim around the corner and take that shot, and I'll describe what happens after that.
yeah. So I think because they're trick cards, right? So it's like the kind of thing that he would have tucked up his sleeve or whatever to cheat in a game. But I think as he tosses it out, it's maybe pops up as a king or something, but it's a little bit warped. It's maybe the emperor, right? in this system. And so they've got fancy hat and maybe some spaceships flying around them, and the kind of different iconography to show that it's the let's say the King of Diamonds.
Okay.
Is
Or the
it
emperor,
just
I guess.
I'm sorry, I have one quick question because this is the first time we've introduced this sort of element into this, and I'm really curious about the distraction. Is it something where it's just a visual holographic representation of it and there's a little bit of motion, or is their full animation?
What I'm almost imagining is that when you're making poker hands in this universe, you have the holograms are fighting each other, and it's you're making armies of soldiers to fight each other in the holograms.
So it's it's basically battle chess, but with cards.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. So those cards go flying out. All of a sudden, there's a bit of a distraction, and the blaster fire kind of changes a little bit as they think that there's something going on there. So, Sally, take us into the next.
I'm
part of
sorry.
the scene.
Battle chess with cards is Yu-Gi-Oh.
Okay, yeah.
That's all I wanted to say.
Sure.
Yes,
Sure.
It's Yu-Gi-Oh.
I don't pay attention to trading card games. I'm sorry.
Look, Switch is gonna duel these guys, and it's gonna be all good.
And I'm going to place my trap card face down. End my turn.
These guys have the same kind of armor as last time.
They do.
She's gonna aim for the thigh again.
All right. So,
Or that area.
just for shits and giggles, roll me a d6. Just roll me a d6 and tell me what it is.
Remind me how to do that. Roll D6
Slash R D6. Space 1D6.
/ R D6. Okay, 3. I'm going right down the middle today.
You don't actually hit him in the crotch. You are able to get him sort of in the right in the knee, right on the side of the knee. So basically, he took an arrow to the knee, except it's a dart. But
Okay.
So as the dart kind of lands and goes in, the blaster fire, really just kind of starts to arc up, and as the other other 3 are beginning to kind of react, and they kind of turn to look over. 2 of them are still firing, but one is kind of moving over to kind of engage in the situation. But the blaster fire from this one that you just hit, his reaction at first is to get more aggressive, but he's starting to buckle. And so the blaster fire is starting to head up and hit in the ceiling. And what it does is it causes a piece of panel from the ceiling to drop and sort of land on him. And when it does that, it lands and dislodges a grenade from his belt and begins to roll.
To
and
us
immediately
or behind them?
Behind them. The one guy screams, realizes what's going on, starts blasting again, and the 3 of them move forward towards you guys as we cut back to Fitzy and Levi.
I just want to make sure that I'm very clear on what's happening before we cut real quick. So the grenade is between us and the soldiers, or the grenade is between the soldiers and the airlock?
Soldiers in the airlock.
Soldiers in the
so
airlock.
They're pushing towards us.
Oh,
Or they die, and or the airlock might be blowing up. Like,
no.
It's
Okay.
fine.
Okay.
Oh, also pick a number between 1 and 4.
4.
2.
Okay. That wasn't a knockout dart. That was a shitting himself dart.
Yeah, he is shitting
Sally,
himself.
no.
He's shitting himself because he's like, there's a grenade behind me.
Hey, he's about to I would give him like a minute before he literally starts shitting himself. And I'll let you decide how he reacts to that.
I don't even know how to respond to that. I'm going to continue to cut while I think about it. All right. Levi, Fitzy, you guys are in the room. What I forgot to narrate as a part of the narration from last time is while Fitzy was doing, or Levi was doing all the hacking, what was that move that you did last time, Mike? It was something where you just like punched the floor and everything just kind of shorted out.
Yeah, you're right.
I forgot about that. I'm really sorry. I meant to highlight that, but I forgot about it.
Johnny's
I really feel
smiling.
like a jerk.
Johnny's smiling. He's up to something, and I don't like it.
Whatever, man. It's cool.
But so, anyways, in the aftermath of that, if I remember how the scene ended correctly, you guys were able to collect Monday. You jumped into a vent, basically a crawling duct, and Levi was able to grab. A remnant of the device that was controlling the 4 red entities.
Yes, Eyes Up Guardian. That's what happened. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, because I wanted to build stuff out of it.
Right, exactly. All right, so now the 4 of you, because, well, the 5 of you, no, actually there's 6 of you, because there's Fitzy, there's Levi, there's Monday, there's Tuesday, there's Friday, and then there's Siri. So there's technically 6 of you in this room right now.
Also, there's like 42 other people in Fitzy's head, so don't forget about them.
Oh, that's right. I forgot to do the calculation. It's no longer 30-something. It's probably more like 67 or 68 at this point.
I hate this.
God.
You need to kill these guys, so I hope that all of these other guys in your head doesn't keep you from killing them.
Okay, selfish.
I paid you to do a job.
When?
I mean, at some point in the sphere.
I
of the game.
have one thread from the first job we did.
At some point in the backstory, I paid you to do it.
You pay me
Room
per
and board.
job.
Yeah, and so far on this job, how much killing of soldiers have you done? Not as much as Sally, so Sally's going to get your cut.
Sally didn't kill anyone. She knocked several people out.
She disposed of them.
I blew up some people. They're dead.
No, that's
But wait a minute. The red biological entities actually count as a kill. Does that count as a kill count, or are we only talking about corporeal forms that are either human or xeno?
Only things that are trying to hurt or kill Switch, because that's all he cares about.
Oh, wow.
okay, rude. All right. Fuck me.
Very
right?
in character of you.
Cool.
Okay, so I am in the vent still, or are we by where we need to go?
No, you're in the vent still. Tell me how you guys are navigating from the vent and the central room to that airlock area.
Well, technically that's where I started, so I kind of know the way. So I'd just be like leading the way. Actually, it's like kind of low walking, but kind of like rushing and having my gun out at the same time and getting to that area.
Okay, so you start to make navigate your way back, and you're navigating through the secure area still until you get to you're heading towards the external area where it's not as secure as it was. So there's like the internal like security lockdown area where the big meeting was happening with all those various criminal syndicates, and then there was the outer area that was sort of the back rooms. The back rooms is where Switch and Klaus and Sally and those 4 dudes that may or may not still be there when you finally arrive. Any of those people could actually, may not be there. So just to be aware. But as you're kind of navigating through, you get to the exit point from the secure area to the non-secure area, and the door, the sort of the latch, the hatch is closed, and you hear scraping on the other side. Like it's like from the secure area to the non-secure area, the hatch is closed, and you're hearing like weird sort of scraping on the other side.
I didn't leave it like that.
You didn't leave it like what?
I didn't leave it like that. It was open, and the fucking something scratching on the other side. That's got to have some claws on it because it'll fucking.
I'll tell you what. You know, I've seen guns get used a time or two. Point your gun at the hole and shoot it.
Okay, point it at his mouth.
I meant the hole we're trying to leave.
Oh, okay.
Whatever it is, you'll kill it on the other side, probably, right? It's standing there scratching away at something.
Hold on. And I look at my data pad, or like sling the gun to my side and look at my data pad and see if I can unlock it because I have the access codes.
What are you?
You do have the access codes.
What are you doing?
I'll get ready to punch.
I can't punch her in front of me. That's not how tunnels work.
You can stand next to me.
It's a tunnel.
It's big enough that you stand next to me. I established this episodes ago.
Oh, right. I remember that. Levi saves the day, part 1.
Right. So as the final key entry happens in the data pad, you hear there's like an airlock hiss, and it slowly begins to slide open, and you can see through the light that there's something really moving frantically in there. But as it's moving slower than possible because it's like there's something that's like getting in the way of it kind of moving real quick. But when it opens up to about a third of the way, you see that there's some sort of metallic object in there, and it's starting to kind of scrape and kind of do its thing. And at a point, it stops scraping so much, it starts kind of reaching through, and there are these weird sort of long, articulated like metal, like almost fingers, but they're really long and sharp and really thin, and they're kind of like dancing along with it as they're trying to kind of get through, as they're trying to pull through. As you can see, it's trying to grab and kind of pull itself through.
I punch it.
And that's when you actually see that there's a body attached to these like sort of weird things, and there's like 6 of them sort of like kind of reaching on and trying to grab and pull through at this particular point.
I've seen Spider-Man. I punch it. Perfect. Johnny froze.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm punching Doc Ock. I don't give a shit. We gotta go. Switch is yelling at me about money.
Hello.
Why did you keep saying that to me? I'm punching this thing in the face.
No, Fitzy, I choose you. And I throw a ball.
Where did you even get that from?
I don't know.
All right. And yeah,
it was actually Siri.
I'm punching.
Siri's the actual Pokeball.
He throws the freaking the what is it? The Guardian thing.
She makes a Pokemon noise.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm punching.
Right.
I'm punching Doc Ock in the face. I don't know what this thing is, but it's got tentacles and a face that gets punched.
Does it look like horrendous and like?
It's gonna when I punch it.
No, it's got these weird sort of like articulated like limb things, right? But the body itself is very boxy, so it's definitely got a nice like big fat area for Fitzy to be able to just punch through if he wants to.
That's what I'm doing. I'm punching it.
So
It's gonna go so
as
bad.
this thing is like articulated and trying to pull itself through, the thing is opening. Really describe how you're able to get the leverage and just kind of punch your way through. And describe to me what the punch looks like.
Well,
and then let's talk about the
apparently you can fit 2 abreast in this air duct. It's the biggest air duct in the world. And so, as soon as the thing opens and I see like tentacle fingers, I'm just punching. It's a no-look, just haymaker to the central mass, right? Like there has to be a torso attached to this thing, and I'm hitting it in the chest. And yeah, his hands glow that weird purple kind of whooshy glow, and he fists this thing in the chest. And that's what happens.
That's not fisting.
Well,
yeah, I was gonna say
the gun's not for sex either, so we're gonna meet halfway.
Whoa! Yes, it is.
All right, so
boy.
I feel like this is a risky situation. I don't feel like this is desperate at this point because you really don't have much more information about it.
Sure.
And the thing is still sort of blocked halfway.
I can deal with that.
All right.
Effect standard, I would say.
So the effect is limited in my head if you're just trying to take this thing out. Is there something else you're trying to achieve along with this?
Oh no, that's it. I'm trying to get this thing.
All right, let's call it limited then.
Okay. And then I have a +1 bonus dice because I have fine melee weapon.
Right.
And does this thing have? Is this shielded?
No.
Does it have energy shields?
No, it does not. It definitely has. It's all armored in body, but there's no no shimmer, no nothing that sort of indicates that it's shielded in any way, shape, or form.
Cool. My fists cut through non-shielded material. So a 4. So not a full success, but.
All right. So narrate me through as this is happening. Narrate what is the buildup of this? Like you're just basically haymakering this, but
there's not even really any buildup, right? Because there's not enough room for there to be anything crazy. Like the door starts to open, it probably gets halfway, and he rounds up, and as soon as the door gets open enough that we can see the claws, he just swings wildly out of this thing, trying to punch a space so that we can get out. Right? Getting out in the open and fighting this thing's way easier than fighting it in a tunnel. So yeah, he probably over carries with his throw and is pulled out by this thing with momentum and sheer oh shit, and it grabs him out of there.
Use your virgin energy.
That's what I would guess. I'm gonna fist it real good.
All right, I'm gonna draw something real quick to indicate what this thing is doing.
Sure.
And how it looks, because this will help.
Cherry makes a strange face every time I talk about fisting this robot. You know
what? This drawing isn't really a good idea. I don't think I'm going to show that to you because it reminds me of something else on the internet that involves that. Let's just say that as it's kind of crawling crawl through, right, and the doors the hatch on the airlock is halfway open. You just overdo it and kind of punch, and the energy carries through part of the airlock hatch as you punch straight out. And get this thing right in its core, right? And immediately it just sort of crumples. And the limbs just kind of go limp. And they go from being these weird sort of straight articulated angles to all being completely slack and almost loose rope, consistency. And this thing is kind of smoldering there, right? And it's just, just sparking and smoldering as you kind of pull see part of the damage that you've actually done to the hatch.
Yeah.
Which, as it turns out, is now broken mechanically halfway open.
And
leaving you only enough space for you to actually crawl one person at a time through.
Okay.
Through a two-person crawl space.
And Fitzy looks at the corpse and he says, "Take that, you fucking robot! I got it!
You got a lot of pent-up virgin energy in you.
I don't know what that means. It's a regular kind of thing. I can teach you how to do it if you like. You could be a disciple and learn the way.
What? Learn the way? No. You hack to
No.
Yes.
No.
That's more fun.
All right. Where are we going?
As the two of you.
Oh, right.
As the two of you are having this exchange, farther beyond through the airlock, down into the crawl space, the two-person crawl space, by the way, the crawl space into the normal sort of area of the stray light, you can hear sort of the scratching, sort of tinkling sound of more legs just kind of making and moving, doing its thing. And as you kind of look down the way, you can actually see one sort of just pass through, another one of these things pass through in a duct. And that's when you actually get a real sort of good picture as its body kind of moves. It's got a lot of legs. And it's almost shaped like a centipede in segments. But the head apparently is the first part which you just encountered, and it's sort of articulated in such a way so that it's got visual, kind of acute, the visual cameras and stuff on all over it. And you can clearly see that these things are actually just, 5 or 6 feet long in respect to segments and everything else. So it just kind of crawls along.
Have I seen some of these constructs before?
If you can describe to me a place where Levi might have actually seen something like this, this is the kind of thing that would either imply military background or advanced robotics, advanced sort of drone robotics kind of a thing. More not as advanced as Siri, but in such a way that it's this is what essentially Terran or human technology and xenotechnology would have been, not precursor tech.
Can I use a flashback?
Sure.
So back in my wrecker days, there was a wrecked military ship that we were scrapping. And one of the guys I was a wrecker with, I found one of these bots in like segments from an explosion, but like was able to kind of like put them together. We're like, oh, that part goes there and that part goes there and all that. And then I imagine he would have been like, oh, I don't know why he's also Irish, but he would have told me what the fuck it is. And I'm like remembering that moment because I'm the last remnants of my remember drug. And I'm remembering.
Well, tell us what Levi remembers.
Well, I don't know what kind of robot this is. So
Well, what you remember is you remember that it is a military drone of some kind designed for harsh environments.
Oh. Okay. So are they combat ready?
Yeah.
Oh, hey Fitzy. Okay. So those are like robots that are meant for like places where we don't normally live and stuff like that. You need to punch all of them because they're probably going to try to kill us.
Yeah, no, that's what I was planning on.
Okay.
What do you think I was gonna fucking make friends with it? What am I, you? Friends with robots? No, I punch them. I punch robots, I punch people, I punch pretty much everyone Sally tells me to punch.
Okay, well, punch those things.
Oh, well, alright.
And punch him, and we're going to go down that way, probably about a few clicks, and then take a right, and then we should be where we need to. So just keep punching.
I don't speak robot. Fucking A. What's a click?
He doesn't understand those units of measurement. Just point and go.
It's kilometers.
Oh.
Click.
Don't sound the same at all. Anyway, Johnny, I'm punching my way down the hallway.
Well, so as you begin to make your way through, sort of like crawling through the airlock space to get into the two of these things kind of like come into view in front of you. Like there's a little bit of an exchange, and then there's a cough, which you're not really sure where the cough comes from, but there's a cough. And they both turn and look in your general direction and begin to move in as we cut back to Switch and Sally.
Cover your mouth.
Okay. So.
That wasn't me.
Okay, that guy's going to start shitting himself any moment, and they're moving this way. What do we do? She looks at both of them that look the same because she's just that confused right now.
What we do is a really excellent question. I will.
I got 3 more darts before I have to reload.
I mean, yeah, I guess we'll just start shooting them and hope that the bomb goes off before they get to us.
Okay.
I don't have a much better plan than that. What can I do here?
And our friend doesn't have a weapon, does he?
No. Sadly, when Klaus morphed, everything about him became Switch, including his outfit. The block,
but not
sort of like weird thing, sort of like morphed. Full-on jacket, holsters and everything. However, there are no guns in his holsters.
Yeah, I just couldn't remember if one of us handed him something.
I guess Switch is going to... Okay.
Are we at a cross section?
You are at a cross section.
What is across the cross section for us?
So across the cross section is another hallway that leads sort of back and around into more storage area. The area that you've been walking through is behind the bar, but like essentially a service area where there's a bunch of storerooms and a bunch of prep areas. and then this airlock is where deliveries come in. So there's basically storage rooms in all around this area. And so right across on the other side of this cross section is more storage rooms.
How much do these grenades blow up? Like, how big of an area?
That's relative, and I'm going to roll a fortune roll for it. So, or somebody's going to roll a fortune roll for it.
Yeah. So in Sally's mind, when they come this way, they're going to try to go back so they can get distance on us to get their shots in. So Sally's contemplating shoving her syringe gun in not a Sam's hand. Be like, good luck. I don't know what your skills are. And tossing this grenade on the other side of the hallway so we kind of pin them
where the airlock might not.
Yeah, I like that. Soft grenade with more grenade. I'm into it. Yeah, so
it's a thought that I have. So.
Sally, like, yeah, go for it. Let's do it.
Sally's gonna think about weird shit like that, not like, oh, if I shove this grenade down those guys.
I'm in. It's better than anything I have, so I'm in.
Okay, Sally's gonna shove the gun in his hand, put her hand on you, and go prepare to fire.
All right,
hold the grenade. And like skid it across the floor because she's not really gonna try to like do that. That's the
Kobe.
she's not a Kobe. She's good at sliding things around. Should we go with scramble again?
I'm gonna let you totally do that because that seems like the right choice right here.
And this is definitely risky. This might even be desperate.
Switch is gonna as soon as this goes off, Switch is just going to try to come out blasting. He's going to forget the trank gun and just go for his blasters.
What effect do we want?
Wait a minute. You're gonna take your blaster and just start firing, right? Both your blasters.
Once the grenades go, I'm like not going to jump into the grenades, but once the grenades go off, I'm just going to start blasting.
And one of those guys is going to start shitting himself when he comes around the corner.
So I feel like this is desperate, and I feel like the effect has any number of possibilities. Ultimately, what you're trying to do, though, is you're trying to pin them. Is that correct? You pin them in that hallway.
But force them to come like this way towards us, so we know exactly where. Their trajectory. I'm setting their trajectory is what Sally's brain is trying to do.
Or they're going to get blown up by one of two grenades.
Or that.
Right. Okay.
So I'm thinking great or extreme, but I'm down for either.
I really think that it's great. Extreme really feels like epic, sort of like superhero battle kind of a thing.
Not quite there yet, but in that direction.
We're getting pretty close. You're coming up with some really awesome ideas about how to navigate this situation. So yeah, let's say great. I don't think Switch can assist you. You don't have any more stress that you can spare, right?
I do, but I think I'm not assisting. I'm like gonna I think the thing preparing. I'm doing comes after. Yeah.
Yeah, Sally's like, I'm setting this up for you. Good luck.
You said you can't push yourself because you don't have enough stress. Do you want a devil's bargain?
Yes. And I haven't taken it. So.
At the end of this, when all is said and done, Klaus is going to offer you something that you can't refuse.
Okay.
When he offers it, it will make you choose between what he's offering and Fitzy.
Oh boy. Okay, my dice thing is
spicy.
Yeah, it's a spicy meatball. I like that.
Hold on, I gotta re-pull up roll 20.
Listen, you can't call me that.
You're definitely gonna die. You're definitely gonna die.
What can I call you in? What?
Spicy meatball. You can't call me that in public. That's bedroom talk, Johnny, and you know.
Look, PAX is only a month away, buddy.
Is that your safe word?
No. That's my pet name.
Spicy meatball assistant.
Is it time to talk about genital bandanas yet?
No, it's never.
It's never time.
I would like to bring up. I'm not the one who brought it up in the gameplay.
Okay, desperate. Great. Do I get a bonus die for Devil's Bargain? I don't remember.
Yes.
Yes, you do get a bonus die for Devil's Bargain.
All right. 5-5.
Wow.
Why do we keep pulling off the weirdest shit?
Because it's amazing. So that was please mark XP on your character sheet, number 1.
Right. I think I'm getting close.
Number 2, just out of curiosity, I'm going to let you narrate for me something.
Oh boy.
You hand off your gun to Klaus, who looks like Switch.
Right.
What is the expression on Switch's face that Klaus is emoting when you hand him the gun?
Are you asking me or Sally?
Oh no, I'm asking Sally. I want to know what expression your face is making from not you.
I can't remember if we've been over what this guy's history is. Obviously,
everything is a mystery about anybody for anybody who involved with House Malclack. So
I think he's gonna look at the gun because it's a gun he's never seen before. So he's probably gonna be confused to start with. Realize, okay, this shoots, and then point it, but probably like, what the fuck is this? What the hell is she doing? Type of look.
All right. So you
more so that I've gotten from him.
Right.
Impressive.
You hand it off to him, and then you grab for your grenade and immediately pull. You hear something weird in that direction as you're about to make your throw. You look over as you're about to release. You realize that he's disassemble it a little bit and kind of reconfigure it and kind of put it back together. And so he's like pulling components apart. He's tweaking a couple of things with his hands, which seems really weird until you realize that his hands, for just seconds, begins to articulate into like the head of a screwdriver, right? And he's kind of readjusting things. And by the time you're able to throw the grenade, you see the first of the guys sort of like coming around the corner, about to head that direction as they realize what you've done. That grenade goes off in that direction, and they immediately kind of stop and begin to turn. And it's almost like in slow motion as they begin to turn, as we get an opportunity then for Switch to kind of engage. These guys are vulnerable. Sally has successfully been able to convince them that that direction is not a good idea and they can't go back. They are sitting ducks for you.
I'll blast them away.
All right.
And what is Not a Sam pointing at? Is he pointing at the middle guy? Is he pointing at... Is it... Because I assume one of them's on the left of me and one of them's on the right of me. So it makes sense for Not a Sam to go for the first guy and Sam to go for the last two. Well, I guess there's still 4. Guy on the far end's about to shit himself.
Well, he started to collapse, right? Because even with the effect of that drug taking a little bit of time, you still kind of nailed him in the knee, and it really hurts when you hit any of the tendons or anything else, in the knee. So he buckled, and he's just getting up. So Klaus is just like finished kind of reassembling as you release the grenade. It goes flying past the soldiers. They begin to turn, realizing, oh shit, they can't go that direction. And you kind of like look back up as he takes aim and starts firing as well. Now, Switch, this is your moment.
Sam, could you give me your best Danny DeVito impression? Please tell me you get the reference.
So I just started blasting.
Thank you so much.
Oh my god.
I personally was hoping he was just going to yell rum ham over and over.
Rum
Did we
ham.
just become It's Always Sunny and whatever?
We have always been.
We always was. So anyway, I started blasting.
I'm back, which is great.
Oh no. Oh no. All right. So yeah, I'm shooting them with both my guns, and I'm just gonna. I'm shooting them. I'm guessing. this
Unless
is
you can
scrap.
argue me otherwise, this is a controlled situation because they are definitely caught off guard.
I'll take that.
I have.
Well, if you want to, argue, if you want to argue risky, because risky means you get a gambit. That's fine.
No, I'll take the controlled so I don't get shot.
Okay, great.
Cool. Probably either great effect because they're like really off guard, or standard because it's a small number of them.
Okay. I think great effect works.
Perfect.
And when they start shooting, Sally is gonna ball up behind actual Sam. She doesn't have a weapon. She doesn't have protection, so she's just like.
Right.
Yeah. Do you have a devil's bargain for me by any chance?
I do.
Okay. Let's hear. Let's see what you got.
So last episode, when the three of you were kind of walking past the Lost Legion and Vorax kind of looked back and kind of, took an assessment of the situation. The devil's bargain is Vorax recognized you, Switch. And that will come back to plague you.
That sounds like later Switch's problem. So I'm going to say yes.
All right.
That's an inside look at both my personal reasoning and my character's reasoning. A 5. I got a 5. That's all right.
Roll me a d6.
Okay. Another 5.
Fuck.
I can do this all day.
I'm sure you can. Jeez. All right. Now, narrated as you are able to kind of take out more than one of them as Klaus picks up the third. Tell us what that scene looks like, and then I'll tell you what the consequence is after that.
And is there a fourth?
This first dart from Klaus is going to be a knockout dart.
And then there are 4 total, right? So we're taking out.
There
3
are 4 total, and the one that's about to shit himself has still not recovered from falling down.
Gotcha. So I think the explosion goes off and Switch comes around the corner, and I think we get this moment of Switch actually looking a little bit like he knows what he's doing, right? Like he comes around the corner with the 2 pistols, and he just immediately blasts, takes a couple shots each through into the guy's chest. He's not going for headshots or anything, right? He's just blasting away in the chest. Meanwhile, I think maybe Klaus, because he is that kind of robotic discipline. We just see it snap up and shoot the guy, dart him right in between the armor of the neck, or something like that.
Okay.
And then the 2 guys drop, and we get Switch does the little pistol spin and puts them back in the holsters, and then just kind of looks over at the guy that's groaning on the ground from the stomach pain and the shitting, and he will probably just he'll probably just kind of try to kick him in the head or something, try to knock him out. I mean, he's gonna avoid killing him if he can.
The man has already been humiliated enough.
Actually, you know what? No, he's an evil space scoundrel. He's probably just gonna cap this guy on the ground before putting his second pistol away.
All right, just to be clear, you take out 2 of the guys as Klaus methodically shoots the third in the neck.
Mm-hmm.
You then round the corner to the guy who's in pain on the ground, shitting himself, and go over to shoot him or kick him?
I think Switch sees the guy on the ground, incapacitated, and just shoots him.
All right. As you take your shot, your blaster makes its sound. The grenade that was between that guy and the airlock goes off. At which point, the wall behind sort of crumples from the concussion, and there's like this pinhole sort of like exit point of like a fracture in the sort of the airlock, and you immediately hear like air beginning to escape as the shot kind of veers off a little bit, being pulled by sort of a little bit of decompression, but still kind of nails the guy in the chest, and finally he's dead. Thankfully, you put the guy out of his misery. It was really painful. It really sucked. But that crack is, you can hear that sort of air going out, and you can see that, things are starting to kind of, the air is starting to shift a little bit, right? And you see that crack is like beginning to grow as the piece of like the door itself, the airlock door, is beginning to crumble.
Just so I make sure that I am aware of the situation, and this may have been our plan, we were going to try to have the Glory part, like basically dock with this airlock, right?
That was what my understanding was of the plan last time.
Sally, how are you at repairing airlocks? Oh, you're muted.
Oh boy. She doesn't have hack. This is a repair thing, right?
I think it would probably be rig, but
it would either be rig
I
or
also don't have.
There is one other possible.
I have study, so maybe she read a book about it and is trying to.
If you can argue me a reason why, I'll let you use doctor.
I mean, her and Pitsy have been known for borrowing or investigating artifacts in the past, so I feel like she'd be able to break in to and out of certain doors. So she might be able to repair one just with like a basic knowledge, like what it was crushed or what is it, like fried a little?
There's like a fracture, and there are pieces starting to move from the fracture and being pulled out into space.
You could, if you still have an item left, if you have like the repair tools, if you have items left.
I have medkits and candies and syringes and a blaster pistol that I just gave to that guy. Sally's straight up doctor.
I do have one, because I have a bunch of free items. So yeah, no, I do have one item left. So I have repair tools. So yeah, so I think what happens is Switch like sees what's happening. He's like, oh fuck. Hey, Sally, you know how to use this? I got it from Levi. I don't. He said in case of emergency, it's for repair and shit. I don't. You got something for this, or?
She's also gonna eye Klaus and wave him over with his fancy tool hands because she actually saw that. And try to ask for help. She's gonna do her damnness. I still feel like study is more applicable than doctor, but I'll do whatever you feel is better.
If you think study makes a lot more sense, I'm happy to go with study here.
I got the same amount of points in either. So. Well,
so as you kind of wave Klaus up, he kind of looks at you and speaks in Switch's voice, but the demeanor is very different. He's, I'm sorry, what are you implying?
You did something to the gun. It looks nicer. Just if you can help. This isn't my expertise. Normally I'm patching up people, and she pokes Sam, not doors. So
I only work on small things, and as you see that Switch, you also see this for just a second. Like his fingers sort of like morph and shape as tools, like in various shapes. and they kind of all go back to, and then you see he has 10 fingers. And he says, I have nothing that can repair that. I'm not sure what you're expecting me to be able to do.
I'm making this up as I go too.
You know, we don't meet a lot of your kind, right? We don't really just know what you can do off the top of our heads. Like,
Yeah.
Well, my kind, that's, he kind of waves it off and he says, we can talk about that later. Please proceed. And he points to Sally.
Okay. I'm going to go with risky. I feel at this point it's standard or limited. I don't feel like
The effect, well, I guess it could be argued that it's limited because you're just repairing something small, but it also could be argued that it's great because you're repairing something that actually could prevent you from flying out into space without a spacesuit.
and she does have the repair kit. So like, it's not like she's like working with limited tools or anything like that.
okay. We'll go with limited then. I got no help. 5 and a 3.
All right. So what is Sally's approach to this? Like, what does the repair look like?
She's gonna see what wires need to go back where they go. She's going to see if there's any sort of sealants, anything she could use in the repair kit for patches to make it first not go anywhere, and then second functional.
All right. So
but
as you're
the wires and stuff would be very much surgical in a doctorly way, you know.
All right. So as you're kind of like you're beginning to kind of manipulate this, and you're kind of rifling through the repair kit, you see that the crack is sort of beginning to spread, and it's just going from like one small sort of like finger thin kind of a thing, as it's just kind of like kind of spreading open a little bit like this. You're able to grab for a sealant and kind of just like spray it up, and it at first kind of gets sucked out, but it's quick, sort of quick hardening sealant, and it just kind of like kind of fills into the gap in the space. And you can see that it's starting to kind of freeze over a little bit, at the edges as you're beginning to finish the seal on it. And for a moment, it looks like it's repaired and safe. But you can see that the sealant wasn't designed for creating, like managing a vacuum kind of a thing. And so for a moment, you have case kind of a thing. So as you're kind of like finishing it up and doing that, you're not going to be flying out into space, or anything. Like you've repaired it, so it's squared for now. But as that repair is finishing, Switch behind you, you hear more footsteps running in your general direction. As we cut back to Fitzy and Levi.
Oh, I'm punching some robots. Yeah, you said there was 2 robots that turned towards us.
Towards you, and they're beginning to make their way. And there's 2 more of these centipede drone-like things.
Cool.
Their heads, their tentacle, their limbs are kind of like dancing along and kind of grabbing along, kind of pulling themselves along. But they're exposing their heads to you. So I feel like you could just punch them when they get there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna run in and punch them. I'm gonna meet them halfway. It's it's the nice thing to do. It's the space virgin thing to do. Just meet them halfway. You can turn the other cheek, etc. Proverbs and whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm gonna run in there and punch one in its stupid robot squid face.
All right. So make your move in. This is a risky situation at this particular point because they haven't really kind of moved into the attack. They're still moving forward.
Yeah.
And so you're kind of able to catch one off guard.
Yeah, and I'm trying to put myself in between both of them so that like the other one will attack me and not Levi.
Okay.
So yeah, scrap. You're saying risky, limited.
Since you're positioning yourself in such a way to get between them, I think standard makes more sense.
Okay, and then +1 bonus die for fine weapons.
Yep.
Bam, 5.
All right. So narrate us through the first punch and how you kind of like put your hand through this thing.
Yeah, so I basically charge up, and once I hear them the cough and then turn, and there's an exchange between Levi and I about covering your mouth. He sees them and he runs and like fist still glowing, and he just sort of like skids to a halt, like Risky Business style, and then just hits one in the chest with his glowy hand. And then sort of like stumbles backwards a little bit as it like explodes a little bit or whatever, and puts himself in front of the second one.
Okay, so as you kind of do that, and it just like the effect of it kind of shatters the body a little bit, as you can see, it sort of splits down farther into some of the segments of this sort of centipede-like drone thing, as the limbs just immediately go limp and they become very slack. The thing kind of shatters through, and it just immediately makes this sort of groaning sound. As you hear all this sort of scraping and everything, as the other one just kind of comes up behind you, as you're kind of positioned yourself in such a way, basically making yourself the target, as it tries to grab and climb on top of you. It's getting kind of friendly, man. I think you better resist that.
Cool. I'm gonna roll prowess to resist this thing by physically maneuvering my way out of its clutches.
I think you should do that.
I don't think I have any bonus dice to this situation.
Do you want to take a devil's bargain?
Nah.
Wow.
A 4.
How much stress did you have?
I trauma out.
Ooh, this is so bad. We're gonna die.
Seriously, when did Hudson get here?
I mean, I take 1 trauma out of like 4. I'm fine. I'm not dead.
Yeah, but like if we all trauma out in the scores, we're like either going to jail or.
Well, I think don't you have to get all 4 trauma to like die?
No, you get 4 trauma to retire. You have to get harmed to die.
If you get 4 trauma, your character's automatically out.
Oh.
But you can still die theoretically. But
Cool.
Also, if we all trauma out during the mission, that means we can't complete the mission. So the GM can do something really bad to us.
That's correct. All right. So narrate for me
wait a
how
minute.
you
know what? I'm a liar. Fuck that. I'm not traumaing out. We have 1 gambit left, right?
Yes, we do.
We do.
Okay. My special ability is I can spend a gambit instead of paying any stress costs. So I'm gonna spend our gambit, and I don't take that stress from that prowess. I still take the hit, but I don't take the stress from those 2 points that I rolled.
No, you actually don't take the hit because you resisted.
Yeah, because you resisted, and then you spent the gambit instead of spending stress. So
Cool.
you're good to go.
Right.
Perfect. Fuck yeah.
So kind of like coming up around from behind you and trying to like wrap itself and get all friendly.
I assume you said something about describing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think as it like climbs above me, I have like 1 hand up, like preventing it from crushing me as I'm charging my Doom Fist up, ready to punch it from the underneath bits. So I'm basically holding it while it's crushing down as I'm ready to punch up.
All right. So you actually you kind of make that way and then make your punch.
Cool. Scrap. Risky? Desperate?
I'm feeling like it's a... you know what? I'm going to say risky because you guys need a gambit.
Okay. Risky, standard, limited, bonus dice of 1. Pew! 6. 6 on a risky, which I believe is another gambit, right?
A success on a gambit is... Or success on a risky is a gambit, regardless, whether it's...
Cool, so we have +1 gambit, Sam.
Good. I will record that. Oh, but we're back to 1, right?
We're back to 1, yeah. I spent 1, now we're back up to 1. Yeah, so the thing's basically crushing me down, and it's like I think like all the tentacles are like grabbed into the ground, and it's slowly trying to like crush me into the ground, and I just like unleash with an uppercut. In an Irish accent, I say, "Sure you can." And,
Sure you can.
and
Can you do that in the Irish accent for us? I'll give you a bonus die if you can do it in an Irish accent for us for your next roll.
Oh man, for fuck's sake! Hold on, let me get my accent back. Hold on, I gotta yell at Levi in my head a couple times. I don't think I can. It's just gonna go vaguely Asian. Shoryuken. Yeah, no, it just goes vaguely Asian. Yeah, I can't do it.
What are you saying?
Shoryuken, like Ryuken.
A Shoryuken.
Yeah, see, it
There
just
you go. That was good. Oh, that was good.
You know what, Levi? You get the bonus die.
Okay.
I'll need it.
Yeah.
You sure will. All right. So as you kind of like punch up through this thing and the energy kind of like ripples through it, this thing just kind of splits in two and kind of flops back.
Yeah.
And like a part of the carcass just kind of lands right in front of you, Levi. As you've got like Monday hovering next to you, and you've got, you know, Siri hovering next to you.
Hey, is there
you-
something you can do here? Can you like disable the robots or something? Is it just like a smorgasbord of a buffet of robots or something?
As I'm like picking up like useful parts from the robot and putting it in my bag, I'm like, I mean, maybe, but I thought you like punching things.
I mean, I do, but like you were just standing there, and that one almost crushed me to death. And I think our friends are blowing up the space station or something.
What?
You didn't hear that explosion? And followed by
No.
immediately by another explosion,
Oh, space note.
followed by laser gunshots.
Oh, let's go. Let's go shoot a gun.
I don't have whatever. And he starts running back down the hallway towards the sound of the explosions.
Is there more robots?
No, two more robots were there, but there are no more robots that are coming in, you know, like chasing you guys right now, or you
Okay.
that you're aware of.
Well, keep going, and like running with my gun.
I'm on it.
All right, so I have a question for you. You're essentially in an access space or a crawl space. When you eventually exit, where is that going to be? Is that going to be right near where the airlock was, where Switch and Sally are, or what?
Yeah, it is actually, because that's the airlock I came in, right?
That's correct.
So there is a ingress egress right there.
That's correct.
So I come out there.
All right. So we're going to switch back to Switch and Sally. As Sally just finished kind of repairing it, Klaus is kind of looking on, kind of like, you know, very, you know, with a sort of a curious look, which seems really unusual on Switch's face. I mean, because it is Switch.
At least one of
that Klaus has taken on the image of. You hear some footsteps sort of behind you, Switch. As you turn, you see Fitzy and Levi crawling out of the space and just kind of coming up and coming towards you. Siri floating next to them, and then another drone-like thing that looks almost like Siri, but not modified in the same way that Siri is modified, kind of floating with them too.
All right, we got to get out of here. I'm sure there's going to be some questions about all what's going on. We're calling the ship. Levi, you got to get the ship over here. This thing's going to break. And
as the alert comes up on Levi's display that the ship will be there in under 30 seconds.
yeah, that.
It
was one button, really. It was this.
You didn't tell me to call the ship. You just were like, oh, blah, 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 some yakety and I was like,
I said we had to get out of here. How did you think?
Oh, did you? Oh.
How did you?
I also heard get over here, not to get out of here.
Oh, get over here.
Yeah,
Wait, no, we got here.
Yeah, you said there's something, you need to punch some things, and then we came right over.
I said it before we split
I got
up.
Amanda out for nothing.
Before we split up, I said that we were. It doesn't matter. The ship's going to come here. Can we go?
Fine. And I start grabbing my spacesuit that's in the area and like start like putting it like away and then like going, okay, let's go to the hangar bay. This is so boring now. I thought there was gonna be like action and like Fitzy's gonna be punching stuff.
Are you seeing you're not seeing the dead bodies on the ground? There was plenty of action.
Oh. How come you could not save any for me and Fitzy?
I mean, I did kill 3 robots.
I swear to God, I'm
don't tell him about
gonna
that.
absolutely lose it. I'm up to here. I am up to here with you.
You know, where's your spacesuit?
It's right back in my bag.
No, Switch.
Oh, he doesn't have a spacesuit.
Well, how's he gonna get down this?
We're docking the ship to the airlock.
It's barely held together, so maybe we should stop
Yeah, we gotta
arguing
go.
until we're on the ship, please. And Sally just looks more frazzled than you'd ever seen her. I blew up things. I want to go home.
And that's when the blaster fire starts from behind Fitzy
There
and
we go.
Levi.
Oh, I get to use it. And I whip around to use Amanda. And here's
Tell us about Amanda.
Please don't.
Amanda is a very much a military like heavy bolter rifle. Not bolter. I'm sorry, it's not Warhammer. But as I like in slow motion like whip around, I'm gonna post a song that we all can listen to. That I also put on the list. I'll throw it in chat here first for everyone to play while I describe this scene. There we go. Here, this is for everyone in the Zoom chat.
Oh, that's perfect.
And so in slow motion, I like flip around and he's like got a smile on his face and he just starts pulling the trigger and begins shooting his gun down the hallway with reckless abandonment. And he looks back at Switch and he's like, I don't know how to use this. And he keeps shooting it.
Great.
When you look at all the blast fires coming, there are four guys in armor. Sorry, four soldiers in armor. There are four soldiers in armor, and they're blasting. They're sending the blaster fire going towards you. And as you're kind of like returning fire, in your desperate nature, can you tell me what a great effect this is going to have when you do all of this? Like, can I get a roll for that?
What the great effect is like I'm turning around and shooting, and I shoot everyone that's down the hallway, and then like turn around and go like, oh, okay.
All right, those four drop, but you can hear that more are coming as blaster fire is about to start peppering you as a couple more around the corner. As from behind Sally, who's most near the airlock, you hear an alert, and you hear like this sort of like sealed sort of like air hissing sounds as the light above the airlock goes green and the door slides open. And it's the entryway into the airlock for the Blaze of Glory.
Okay.
What are you guys doing?
Backing up. At the same time, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have one thing that left I can do, and that's basically I pull out a detonator and I go, wah, and just throw it down the hallway and then run into the fucking glory hole. And as I throw it, I yell, "You've been tickled by the glory hole," and then run in.
By this time, Switch is like at the helm, beeping and booping and trying to get us the hell out of here.
I need a roll from you for that grenade, as everybody else is piling in, and you are just kind of like running and gunning and throwing it and going. I need a roll to kind of figure out what the collateral damage is there.
From Levi.
From Levi.
But yeah,
sorry. I have music playing. It's kind of loud, so I'll turn it down because it's a good song. I want to listen to it.
It is a good song.
What am I rolling?
For the grenade.
You're rolling for your grenade. I need to know what the collateral damage is as the four of you escape onto the glory.
Okay. What do I roll?
I don't know. What are you going to roll for that? What makes most sense to you? Is it scramble or is it scrap?
Scrap.
All right.
I have no points in scrap, so this is going to be fun.
So you take the lower of these two numbers.
You could take a gambit.
Do we have a gambit?
We have one.
I'm going to save that because I feel we're going to need that to get the fuck out of here.
Okay.
I want to use the bonus die, and I want to take a devil's bargain.
I think that's the same
All
thing.
right. So you. Well, no, he got a bonus die. Remember?
Oh,
you
right.
The accent. He could do it. All right. So you get the bonus die. The devil's bargain is Monday's going to hit on your girl, and by your girl I mean Siri, and she is going to There's going to be some robot on robot action, and it's going to insert itself into your relationship with Siri.
There's a lot of insertion happening.
I'll take it because I feel this will be funny.
Yeah. No.
Is this a desperate?
No, this is a risky.
Risky? Okay. And I get standard?
Standard and 2 bonus dice. So you got 1 bonus dice, and then you've got the Devil's Bargain.
Yeah, 2. Boop.
Ooh, double 6s.
All right. Look,
That earns us
Levi,
A.
listen. You narrate what happens here, buddy. The Glory is about to get off. Switch is about to take over as pilot, but just as you throw it off and the air hatch closes, would you like to tell us what actually happens?
So what actually happens is that he throws the detonator down. It lands at someone's feet, and he's like, no, picks it up, and he throws it back. But he doesn't realize he threw it back at a power conduit and knocks out power to the ship.
Wow. Okay. Sure.
Also, Carry On My Wayward Son started playing at this moment, so that's perfect.
All right, we're gonna switch. We're gonna switch over to Switch as he's beginning to pilot the ship, pilot the Glory away from the stray light. Switch, as you're kind of like making your way around and kind of banking and trying to get an angle to head out of like away from the stray light, you kind of like you bank the ship in such a way that you're angling back and seeing the stray light. It's all lit up. It's pretty. It's beautiful. And then all of a sudden it goes black. And it just sort of like almost disappears from like your visual perspective. It's only the fact that it's blotting out stars, that are behind it is in any way that you're actually able to tell that they're shape. But you see that the other ships that are in the area, a couple of them were beginning to bank and sort of move in your general direction, but the rest of them were still synced and sort of like in a holding pattern around, kind of like, like flying in pattern. And they also all stop. And so there's like a bunch of these like 30 ships out there that are all stopped. But moving, between them and having to really kind of like, evade and avoid for a couple of seconds are 2 fighter-looking ships, and they're angled on towards you. And they're not clear of the other ships yet, but they're angling for blaster fire range. What do you do?
I'm gonna try some maneuvers. I'm gonna have. So first off, Switch is gonna be like, Fitzy, get up here. Start doing the jump calculations. I gotta get out of the way of these guys. They're coming in hot. And then he's just gonna hit the afterburners and just try to fucking zoom out ahead and lose them.
All right,
do the calculations. Punch everyone. I pay you for this.
Look, I'm just looking for a little help here.
You're banking around and you're kind of angled out. Now, in front of you are a series of ships. You're about to hit the afterburner, and you realize that you're not going to be able to do that until you actually navigate to these ships. So I'm going to need some sort of a roll to successfully sort of like avoid these ships that are all of a sudden sort of just like having some level of momentum, but like they're starting to stray a little bit and they're kind of like, drifting in formation and kind of a thing.
Yeah, definitely the goal then is to like weave through these ships, and then as soon as I'm clear, like hit the afterburners so that these guys basically get caught up in the net of other vehicles. Sweet. Cool. I have helm.
All right.
Is this risky?
I think this is going to be risky. There's not a situation where it's desperate because you're not facing blaster fire yet, and it's not obvious that any of the obstacles that are in front of you are going to prevent you from actually surviving otherwise.
Got it. Alrighty. Probably standard effect.
Yeah, standard works. Do you want to use a gambit?
Oh, I'll definitely use a gambit. Yeah, we got 2 now because Levi earned us 1.
Right.
If I push myself, I'm out, but this is also the end of the score.
You don't necessarily know that yet.
That's true. All right, fine. Oh yeah, another 6.
Jeez. All right. So, describe what it's like as you weave and make your way through these other ships.
Yeah, so I think like this. Excuse me. I'm imagining this scene as being like very Star Wars, where like they're flying through the asteroids in that one scene, and you have lots of like banking and like then dropping, and just like kind of abusing the fact that there are no air currents that you have to play with in space, right? So you can just like pivot and move in really weird directions and just kind of like fall away from other ships. And so I think he's doing like a lot of that and just using like sort of the side thrusters and everything to just like take crazy pinwheeling motions. And as soon as we get kind of the spot where there's an angle and there's a clear gap, he just punches the afterburners and we go zooming out.
All right, as you punch the afterburners, as you clear the final ship and kind of punch, and you push forward on your screen, on your sort of your radar screen or however the display or whatever with the sensors, you see that there are ships starting to explode behind you. And as you hit the display to switch to sort of the reverse angle behind the ship, you see that those 2 fighters have given up angling around other things, and they're just blasting their way through. And as they clear the final ship, they're also pushing their way through at this particular point. They're starting to accelerate on you. What are you going to do now?
Can I do something?
You are more than welcome to help if you can actually survive sort of the motion sickness that's going on here, because the maneuvering is definitely going to make you a little sick.
I want to rig up the engine and output the thrusters.
You're going to make our afterburners go even hotter. Oh, boy.
All right. So does this mean Fitzy is going, Levi is heading to the engine room, essentially?
Yeah, that's where he lives.
Okay.
Sally is just buckled in next to Klaus, eyeing him, studying him just with her eyes, not really.
I imagine there's like a harness
also
rig.
tried not to vomit.
Yeah. I imagine there's like a harness rig that is set up for this, just in case like he has to like lean back and like hang on to things, so he get like, because this is probably not the first time they've been in this scenario.
Yeah, I'm sure we have some kind of setup for like some way of 0G engineering where you don't just become paste when there's a maneuver. Yeah.
Right. There's some level of inertia control that goes on with the ships, but with the type of maneuvers that you're actually doing right now, even that is there's an element of compensation that it can't actually handle. So, while it's not where you're completely in a problem, it's not very Star Warsy where it's just like no effect happens.
Yeah. So I get you.
This seems like a risky roll, unless you can argue me in either direction.
I'll go with risky. I think that sounds about right. Risky. Great.
What was the effect?
Great.
That works.
Okay. No Devil's Bargain. Actually, hold on. I want to see if
Devil's Bargain?
No Devil's Bargain.
Okay.
Okay, no, I don't have that one yet. Did we lose Johnny?
Oh.
Maybe?
You're losing me again. Hold on a second.
Hold on, we can hear you.
We can hear you. Your video is frozen.
All right, can you still hear me now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can hear you still frozen, but
You look very smart.
All right, so just roll it. Just
Okay.
look.
you're back, I think.
Roll it.
yes, more gambits.
I don't even see it yet, so hold on.
Okay. We'll wait.
Can somebody tell me what it is that the Roll20 hasn't updated yet?
6.
One and a 6, yeah.
All right.
More gambits.
Narrate it for us, and then switch. I'd like you to narrate for us the escape.
I like get on the comms where like Switch probably has some like sort of headset on at this moment in time, and like I grab like this weird horn thing like that like it's got like a horn and I yell into it when I'm doing stuff, and basically I just go yell in and I'm like, we're free as a bird now, and he knows what that means as I fucking pull a lever, and all of a sudden, like this green and half green vial and half blue vial fucking go into the engine, and all of a sudden it's like, and we go plaid.
Yeah. And as we go, as like Switch hears the call from Levi, he just repeats back into the headset, and this bird, it will not change. And then just like as soon as the afterburners hit, he has like the ship lined up so that we'll just go zooming out towards the jump gate and try to just get into the jump gate at top speed. Obviously, normally there's like the wait and everything. Everyone's like waiting in line. We're just gonna fucking zoom through.
He looks defeated.
Frozen.
Hello?
Oh, I think Mike's muted too.
Oh, I was gonna say that's because we
Okay.
defeated the bad guys.
All right, so and you make your escape, and now we're in downtime. Congratulations, guys! You actually survived a 4-episode long freaking job,
You're welcome.
or was it longer than that?
That went well. I went well, guys. I went well.
Super well.
I went well.
All right.
I say job well done.
Where are you
Goggles
guys?
on. I'm like,
Where are you guys headed as we head into towards downtime?
We were in Breck, correct?
No, you were in the Rin system.
Or we were in the Rin system. I guess we'll go to Holt then, because we haven't been there and we don't have any heat there. So
that's a lie.
no, we have heat in Iota and Breck.
No, we lost our heat in Breck, and I transferred it to Holt, didn't I?
No, you transferred it to what was it? The Marauders? No, not the Marauders. It was the the other pirates, the Raiders.
Yeah. All I know is that on the sheet I have marked 4 in Iota and 0 in Breck.
Okay.
So if we go to Holt, we should be good.
Okay.
So right. Okay, go ahead.
No, I was saying let's go to Holt.
I agree.
All right. So you're heading for this particular gate here. It's going to take you a couple of days. Sorry, you're heading for that gate. It's going to take you a couple of days to actually get there. But as you're making your way through, everybody kind of like begins to kind of calm down, and we're going to go off to pay off and all the way towards downtime, and then we'll sort of play out the scenes that happen after that. So let's talk about payoff, guys. This sort of job got bigger than it originally had been intended to. There was a lot going on here. So from this, what do you guys think the size of the job is based on what you experienced, and what the sort of the payoff is here? For example, what is between the 2 and the 10 creds kind of a thing? Anybody have any ideas?
What did we get on the last one? We got 8 on the last one, right?
It was a standard job, but I think there was some additional stuff that you earned for that.
The standard job pays out 6 or 8. I can't remember.
That's correct.
This feels at least like an 8 to me. Mostly, maybe I'm just projecting because I feel like we earned a lot of heat on this one. But it feels like it feels like the guy we rescued was pretty important, and so whoever is paying us to get this important fella out, hopefully, is paying us well.
Well, remember, there are a number of things, there are a number of factors in this particular job that you guys took. The pirate queen of the Marauders, the Marauder pirates, Alonda, she asked you guys to go and get them. You independently found out that this same particular person, Klaus, is actually lens contact who you're supposed to deliver the cube to.
Mhm.
So there's a fair bit, sort of like tacked into this job just in that particular perspective. But there was also a number of factions that were actually on the Straylight at the time that you guys actually successfully executed this job, which surprisingly you guys did not encounter the majority of those factions.
Yeah. I'm just trying to look at what page payoff is to see if there's.
It's actually in the Roll20.
Is it?
He made a
Where?
handout for it. It's called
Perfect.
Payoff Heat, and I would say it's at least a 6 or an 8. This is this feels like a major job to me. Like we broke into a well-known establishment owned by a well-known person to break out somebody in a secret prison. That seems like kind of a big deal.
Yeah, I agree. I'm leaning towards 8, but I'd be perfectly happy with 6.
I lean towards 8 because of all the technology that we discovered on the inside of it, and there was a lot more that meets the eye. And I also turned off the ship without blowing it up.
And I only made one person shit themselves. Only one. It could have been worse.
I think that's definitely going to apply to your teeth, but that's still funny.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Did I get information from Klaus's data pad about the House Marklet?
You will be able to explore that either in downtime or post downtime in free.
I didn't know if that was like a secret job I was doing.
I gotta do my devil's bargain with Klaus too. I figure Sally is like super fucking interested in what he's about. She's also gonna want to work on a drug or something, but.
Okay, so yes, the house milk. We can have a conversation about what you discover on Klaus's device. We can also talk about the devil's bargain offer. Yes, I think that 8 creds and major job makes complete sense here.
All right, team. How do we feel about giving 4 creds to the ship so that we can look at maybe upgrading or paying off some of the debt we owe on the systems we already have, and then we can each take 4 as opposed to all taking money.
I'm down for that.
So we each get 1, and then we'll leave 4 for the ship for upgrading or doing something with. That seem reasonable?
Okay. So question, if I have 1 cred on me, does that mean I'm cool?
So you can either
creds are a measure of. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, you can either hold on to it, you can spend it to take an extra downtime action, or you can put it towards your stash, which will basically make it so that Levi is better off when he eventually retires. And you're higher quality of living.
Let's work. I'm gonna stash it. So I got 4 in my stash right now.
Nice.
Okay, so does that mean that you've already taken care of upkeep as well?
No, we need to pay upkeep. That's why I wanted to have the 4 at least.
Okay.
How much is our upkeep? I can never remember how that rule works.
It's on the ship. It's hold on a second. Let me take a look. That's right. You guys are using a Star Dancer.
Yes.
Where is it? Why I can't? I don't see it.
I mean, we can do that.
Hold on.
Yeah, why don't you, Sam, go ahead and look that up
Yeah,
while we
I'll look
move
it up
into
while
this.
other people do stuff, yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly. Okay, so let's talk about heat, guys. After a job or conflict, the crew takes heat in the system. The jobs took place. There are lots of moving parts and elements to this. If anybody can argue why this is on a 6, so a wild and devastating exposure, I would love to hear it.
I want to say that we didn't get identified.
I did.
Oh, okay, but then you shot her in the face.
No, but then I took a devil's bargain.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, so then, I mean, loud, chaotic, and high exposure. So 4 heat at a minimum, I would say. And then add +1 for high profile. Or, yeah, that was very high profile, so that's 5.
Doctory, I mean, my syringe was left behind.
I thought the dude...
I also yelled, "Here's a tickle from the glory hole," as I threw the detonator as we left.
Okay, hold on a second. Sally, I don't think that Klaus dropped your gun.
Yeah.
He didn't.
No, but I mean, like, the syringe in the guy's leg type of deal.
Sure.
Okay.
So I would say loud and chaotic, high exposure, minimum 4 heat, +1 for high profile.
High profile.
+2 for illegal weapon use and massive property damage. So that's a total of 7 heat.
Oh yeah, we did shut off the ship.
So I would say at least 7 heat.
I killed more people. Well, I don't know. Did you punch people? You killed like 1 person.
Yeah, well, so there's a +1 for high profile, and then the second, the +2 is for killing hegemonic citizens, massive property damage, and illegal weapon use, kind of all rolled into one.
Yeah.
So a total of +3 bonus on a 4 heat job.
Hold on a second. I'm gonna ask a question to Switch real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe one additional one. So you can add an additional heat, or we can add additional heat from a complication or devil's bargain during the session. Now, this question is directly to Switch. The result of the devil's bargain involved Beatrice in some way revealing that you were involved on the station. Do you want that to play out as heat, or do you want that to play out as role play?
I thought so. I killed her before she could get info out, and then I got recognized by the Lost Legion guys.
No, you got recognized by Vorax.
Oh yeah, that's
right.
what I meant.
Okay, so that's what you were talking about. I'm sorry, I thought you were talking about the other one.
I got rid of Beatrice before she could get any info out.
Okay. Do you want to take Vorax as a heat, or do you want to take it as a role play complicated, like something that gets played out in the story?
I think we should just count it as heat as part of the job, because that's like how they would have ID'd us most likely, I think.
Okay. All right, so that's heat. That's 8 heat then. And that's 8 heat in the Rin system.
That's fine.
I think that jumps us right to wanted.
Wanted level
system?
1?
I think so. Heat is... yeah, 8 heat is... That's the maximum level of heat.
Nice.
All right, so that means I'm going to roll entanglements. I'm going to roll them off screen real quick. Give me just a second to do that. While I do that, you guys can start thinking about what you guys want to do for downtime.
All right, so we owe 6 over. I feel like I'm doing this wrong. Oh no. Okay. All right. So
I'm gonna do some drugs to give into my vice.
Right. Sally will help you with it.
Yes. She has lots of ideas about different drugs she wants to do. I want to explore the junk I found using my junkyard hunter to work on making stuff. And then I get a free downtime activity where I'm going to work on the ship.
Wow.
How do you get that as a free downtime activity?
Baling wire and mech tape. You get an extra downtime activity to repair, and the repair activity costs you 0 cred.
All right, our upkeep costs us 1, so we're down to 3 creds on the ship. Just as a heads up.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Sally, while she's feeding
Hold on. I'm sorry. I apologize. This is actually important though. We get -1 heat for our ship ability.
You get -1 heat when your heat is 4 or less.
No, but also during payoff, take -1.
Never mind,
heat.
that's a period. Yeah, we get -1, so we're at 7 then.
Yeah, so we're not quite wanted.
You're not quite wanted level 1 then?
Yeah, so we're one heat off from wanted level 1 in the system.
All right. Well, hold on a second. Let me
Sorry
roll
about
this real
that.
quick.
So I'm glad
No, it's
I
all good.
noticed that though.
You're good.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, she's basically gonna help him with like memory drugs, like working on that again. Mostly because aside from sending off her usual shipment of Jedi drugs, she's gonna realize she needs better weapons and wants to work on a knockout gas.
So
And
that sounds like a
gases.
long-term research.
Gas is her specialty.
All right. All right, so I've got some. I mean, we're going to go through these individually, and it doesn't look like we're going to have enough time to do it this episode. We'll do it next episode.
Yeah.
So for Levi, I've got ship repair, vice, indulgence, and research, which will be the Urtech. For Sally, I've got memory drugs and long-term research project around knockout gas. I have a question for Switch or Fitzy. You guys don't have to necessarily specify this time around. But you guys can think about it. The question I do have is, does anybody actually want to lay low, like actually work on the wanted level, any of your wanted levels at all in this particular case?
This guy.
Sam, I'll do it. Yeah.
I'm going to try to lower the wanted level for one of my downtime actions, for sure.
So to give us sort of a closing off moment, a dramatic moment in this particular episode, can you tell me what that is? What you're trying to actually get towards?
Yeah, I think so. Like one of the things that has come up a couple times is kind of like the sort of many sides of Switch. And I think we see sort of another different one because he can't indulge his vice while on the ship. So I think this is what he does while on the ship. And then when he gets to the next port, he'll like go do his party thing. But for right now, I think what we see is him like getting online and going in all of these like hidden areas of the web with like forums and like different like chat rooms and aliases. And basically he's using all of this like web of aliases and contacts that know him by different names and handles out of different sectors and different planets. With like all like very like real details that like he really doesn't need to be dropping. It's like a lot of like anonymity in this situation, but it's just like for some reason part of it for him is that like these people like believe he's like he's like 98-year-old grandfather out of the Breck system or what have you this time around. And using that web of contacts, she's basically going to just like try to essentially place a ton of just false leads on what the Glory is doing, who may have hit the stray light that night. It was a conspiracy theory. No, it was like these guys. No, it was the Lost Legion. They accidentally blew up during their weapons deal, and just trying to obscure the entire picture.
All right. Do me a favor and make me a roll for that. And based on the results, that's where we'll end on a dramatic note.
Perfect. I'm thinking this is a very weird description of a consort. It's consorting on the internet.
Okay.
Alrighty. Probably risky or controlled. I can't remember if there's a determined one for this, or if you
there isn't. So there's no modifiers to this particular. It's a straight roll.
Cool. All right. I will just roll my d6 then for consort.
Wow. All right.
That bad luck did not pan out, did it?
All right. So if I remember correctly, your wanted level gets reduced based on a clock. So you actually advance 3 segments of the 8. So 3 of 8 for your wanted level, or for, well, actually, hold on a second. Instead of it being, okay, right, yeah. So you're just going to reduce it from 7 to 4. So your heat is 4 with a wanted level 0 at that particular point.
Perfect.
All right. And so as you're kind of doing this and you're kind of typing around, and making this happen, give me one detail about your sort of 98-year-old grandfather alias.
I guess, yeah. Like, so this alias, he goes by Nige47 because his name is Nigel. He is from the Breck system. He is located at the Academy in Shemaya. And he has been involved and doing research on internet culture and the spread of information across the sector with the Academy.
Nigel gets a message in response, and it's a private message. And it reads as follows. Nigel, in quotes, "You have some interesting theories. I would love to talk more. Please contact me when you arrive in the Holt system." And there is just an emblem, a monogram emblem at the bottom that is the signature, and it is the known signature for Vorax. And that's where we're going to end it.
Good.
All right. Well done. We're gonna die next time. That was episode 11, I believe, of Blades of Glory, called Levi Saves the Day Again, or something like that. I'm amending the title to say, or something like that. That being said, let's do our introductions. We'll get the hell out of here, and we will see you guys next week. We'll start with the savior of the day, apparently. McLogan, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and what are you up to?
Hate is gonna hate. Hey, my name's McLogan. I am a personality? I don't know. Because I really haven't been streaming too much lately. But I do two shows, this show and another show on Cobalt Press called World Tree Burns. I like playing D&D. But other than that, yeah, I had a lot of fun tonight. I let Fitzy punch robots. And like, as soon as I was like, because I have a heavy load, right? So basically I was like, I'm going to take out a heavy blaster and start, just killing people. So that's what I did. And it was hilarious because I had that Amanda song, and I was like, yeah, play that as the scene goes on. And great. But like all the shenanigans we're getting into, and holy fuck, like I'm gonna go back for a second. Like we rolled a shit ton of sixes. Like the last 4 rolls all have a 6 in them. So that's insane.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Or
hey, I would like to say
double.
I would like to say that you guys named the title. Hey, let's name it Levi Saves the Day again to curse me to get bad rolls, and I did not get bad rolls. So
it's a win-win for us.
Really, it is.
Wow.
If you hadn't disabled the stray light, there were bad things that were going to happen. I mean, there's still
I just found it funny because it blacked out the ship. We didn't blow up the ship, but we kind of blew up the ship.
Yeah.
Speaking of blowing up the ship, Cherry, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and what are you up to?
I'm Cherry Babum. I'll be getting back into the flow. We got RP this week. Got Red Dead on the PC finally, so there'll be some Cowboys, be some Tarot, there'll be some RP, there'll be some I Survived BlizzCon. So come on by, come hang out. I'll be live tomorrow sometime. Check out my Twitter, just out of 7.
There you go. Let's jump on over to Sam. Who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and what are you up to?
I am Sam. I don't really do anything on my Twitch, so I'll just shout out the Twitter, which is @TheWizenFool. You can follow me for the places I end up. I'm mostly just on this show for right now. Things are a little light, but I am going to be on twitch.tv/outro1 at the end of the month, subbing in on their channel for the game Mothership. I'm going to be probably announcing it every week until then as well. So I'm excited to do that. And other than that, I'm around. I'm on Twitter, and I am in Discord doing stuff. So hit me up if you want to talk about games.
Hell yeah. And last but always least, Johnny, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what are you up to?
I am Johnny in the Video Store Cowboy. I am roboting the hell out, so I'm going to keep this right short. I'm here. I'm other places. I'm on the road. I'm going home. I'm going to be home for a month, and then I'll be at PAX. So, yeah, that's me. You can find me all over the place at Video Store Cowboy. So,
fantastic. Again, if you guys want to support the channel, please go check us out on Patreon. If you want to join the conversation, head on over to the Discord. Links are down below in the description. Yeah, we'll see you guys next week. So from all of us to you guys, bye-bye.